This morning, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene joins us live. The Republican Congresswoman doubling down on her budget proposal, saying she's not afraid of a government shutdown. What she wants to see happen in this latest round of negotiations. And a new plan to stop smash and grab robberies just like these once and for all. What one state is doing to curb this nationwide crime problem.
I don't hurt for me. I don't hurt for our locker room. I hurt for Aaron and how much he's invested in all of this.
Also ahead, Aaron Rodgers helped off the field during the Jets season opener, the game-ending injury, and what's next for the quarterback. And a game changer ahead at Mickey D's, the fan favorite's big announcement and how it will change the fast food giant and your dining experience. It's Morning in America. All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you at home from our news station headquarters right here in America's heartland. It's time for News for All America.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. We're following several developing stories this morning. Emily Finn is tracking the latest out of Pennsylvania, where an escaped murderer who has been on the run for nearly 2 weeks. Police are updating us at this hour.
Plus, Tom Dempsey is live in Washington with the meeting between North Korea's Kim Jong-un and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Officials expecting an arms deal could take place to help Putin's war in Ukraine. Also, Dre Clark joins us from MetLife Stadium, where Aaron Rodgers, I know a lot of you watched this last night, suffered an injury on Monday in that season opener. Today, he finds out if his first game of the season might also have been his last. Those stories and a lot more straight ahead. But first, we got to get back to this.
Absolutely. Right now, rescue teams in Libya are searching for as many as 10,000 missing people following heavy flooding from a Mediterranean storm. At least 700 victims have already been buried, and crews say they continue to uncover more bodies. Thousands are feared dead. 2 dams burst during the torrential downpours from Sunday's storm in the city of Derna, where entire neighborhoods were washed away.
So many devastating natural disasters as of late. Also, Michigan State football coach Mel Tucker is strongly denying claims of sexual harassment, saying they're, quote, completely false. Brenda Tracy, a rape survivor and prevention activist, accuses Tucker of touching himself inappropriately without her consent during a phone call last year. Now, he admits to that phone call, but stresses the relationship was mutual. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a rape survivor and MSU alum, expressed anger, disappointment over those allegations.
A historic antitrust trial kicks off today, pitting the U.S. against Google. The Justice Department alleging Google unfairly leveraged its search engine dominance to manipulate the market, specifically by forcing its search engine upon customers on a wide range of devices. Now, Google denies those allegations.
Now, get this, an out-of-this-world record has officially been broken. Astronaut Frank Rubio has set the record for longest U.S. spaceflight mission. So far, he's surpassed the previous record, which was 355 consecutive days. And when he completes his current mission, he will have been in space for more than a year, with a total of 371 days. Can you imagine?
No.
He's set to return to Earth come September 27th, and that's going to be a really good homecoming for him and his family.
He will be welcome, definitely. Well, happening right now, a live look at the search for Danilo Cavalcante, the convicted murderer who's been on the run for almost 2 weeks. You're looking at a live picture right now at that perimeter. This is Chester County, Pennsylvania. You can see multiple police officers and tactical teams on the scene. We've also seen the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force out today.
Yeah, this is that area where they're really kind of focusing in on, lasering in on. So overnight, police spotted Cavalcante, and they now say he's armed. Officials saying they've now entered the long game in their search for this killer, closing in on him. Emily Finn is following the very latest. Emily, what is the latest at this hour?
Some breaking details overnight. At around 1 o'clock this morning, the Pennsylvania State Police said they were closing in on a residential area near the prison that Cavalcante escaped after yet another sighting. And this one was perhaps the most urgent one yet in the almost 2-week search. A heavy police presence responding to the sighting during today's early morning hours further intensified the manhunt to track him down. Take a listen to the police dispatch call to officers describing the suspect.
Attention to all units from this command post. Actor description, Hispanic male, roughly 30 years of age, 5 foot, currently shirtless and blue pants. Subject known to have a .22 cut-off rifle with a scope and a flashlight and a 10-round magazine.
Police do confirm Cavalcante broke into a residence. The homeowner shot at him, but Cavalcante still managed to steal a rifle and then flee the scene. Police say he is now definitely armed and very dangerous.
His choice is to go to prison for the rest of his life. He chooses not to do that. Unfortunately, that is not what's going to prevail in the long run. And so he is very determined. We are even more determined.
So it has been a very eventful couple of weeks in this search, Markie. Since his escape back on August 31st, he's managed to contact acquaintances requesting help. He also stole a car and he changed his appearance. These were all efforts to evade law enforcement. Now, this week, Pennsylvania County officials increased the reward for any information leading to his capture to $25,000. The Pennsylvania State Police are expected to provide some updates at a press conference. That's expected to happen in about a half hour here, Nick and Markie.
And Emily, we could not help but notice how different he looks with these new pictures. I think that someone who's not looking for a shaved face might overlook him. So it's very important that people stay alert. Emily Fan, thank you so much. New overnight, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un crossing into Russia by train for a high-stakes meeting with President Vladimir Putin. North Korean state media releasing new images of Kim from Sunday, preparing to board an armored green train for Russia, kicking off his first international trip in over 4 years. The U.S. expecting two of America's greatest adversaries to agree on a new arms deal, which could prolong Russia's war in Ukraine and boost North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Tom Dempsey is live in Washington with the very latest. Tom, this is something that we know U.S. officials continue to watch closely.
Absolutely, Nick. And actually, just minutes ago, Russian state media reported that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has officially arrived for this face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And to your point, in a sign of just how closely the U.S. is monitoring all this, the State Department has already come out saying that if there's any sort of arms deal between the two countries, that could lead to new sanctions being handed down. This meeting is all taking place in the Russian city of Vladivostok, and a bulletproof train took the North Korean leader and left Pyongyang on Sunday night. That train did not move very fast, and Kim Jong-un actually traveled 700 miles to get there. And new pictures out this morning showed Kim Jong-un receiving a small welcome ceremony as his train made a stop in Russia before continuing on to the meeting location. Again, as mentioned minutes ago, he arrived at that meeting location. But, you know, again, the United States will obviously be monitoring this meeting very closely as both countries remain top enemies with America. This latest meeting comes weeks after Kim Jong-un welcomed the Russian defense minister to the country and held a big military parade. The State Department, as I mentioned, has already come out warning of a possible deal between the two countries where Russia might get artillery and ammo to help its ongoing war effort against Ukraine, while North Korea would receive food and energy assistance, as well as possible advanced weapon technology to help its nuclear program. Speaking to reporters ahead of this gathering, a State Department spokesman believed the face-to-face meeting between the two sides highlighted Russia's struggling war effort.
There's no better evidence of that than now, a year and a half later. Not only has he failed to achieve his goals on the battlefield, but you see him traveling across his own country, hat in hand, to beg Kim Jong-un for military assistance.
Now, it remains unknown when exactly that face-to-face meeting will occur, but the State Department reminding reporters of the UN Security Council resolutions banning any sort of arms deals with Russia during the ongoing war with Ukraine, and again saying new sanctions could be handed down in response to this gathering happening in Russia, guys.
Okay, we'll follow it closely. Tom Dempsey, thanks so much. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has signed off on a deal to release 5 Americans in Iran. About $6 billion in Iranian money will be unfrozen in exchange, and the United States is agreeing not to bring sanctions on that cash. It'll be transferred to Qatar's central bank for Iran to buy humanitarian goods. And by the way, a number of Republican senators are calling this deal blackmail. Now to Los Angeles, where another smash and grab robbery is highlighting the growing danger to workers. And by the way, this is just the latest in a series of incidents, striking fear in shoppers, also business owners alike nationwide. This is what we were just talking about with Lydia. Though many of these shocking videos are being captured in California despite a statewide crackdown to protect retailers. Jorge Ventura is in L.A., just outside of a store that just recently was hit by one of those organized retail theft rings. Jorge, what can you share with us this morning?
Hey, good morning, Markie. So I'm right outside of a Macy's store here in the Northridge Mall in the Los Angeles area. And LAPD sources are telling me that a group of alleged 5 to 6 men used hammers to smash display cases and stealing up to $20,000 worth of cologne and other items. This happening here Sunday around 11 in the morning at the Northridge Fashion Center. And as of this morning, those men are still on the loose. Officials, including Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, calling for an end to retail organized theft here in the Los Angeles area. Newsom even enlisting the California Highway Patrol and its task force to address this growing issue. In a statement, Newsom says, quote, "The state is investing hundreds of millions of dollars to crack down on organized crime. And when our local partners need further assistance, we're ready with a helping hand." Last month, $300,000 worth of merchandise was stolen in a mob-style robbery at an LA Nordstrom that made national headlines. LAPD is announcing, though, that its organized retail crime task force has made 20 arrests between August 21st through September 10th in relation to flash mob-style robberies. And earlier this month in El Monte, a jewelry store had a violent confrontation when a man attempted to smash and grab but was unsuccessful when he was confronted by store employees. So this issue not only impacting those big brand stores like the Macy's and Nordstrom, but also small businesses like that jewelry store in El Monte, forcing Governor Newsom to redirect resources here to the Los Angeles area. Markie and Nick.
Jorge, thank you so much. Well, Aaron Rodgers' first season with the New York Jets may be over even before it really started. On Monday night, the star quarterback suffered an Achilles injury on just the 4th play of the game. Rodgers went to the turf after being sacked by the Bills' Leonard Floyd and had to be helped off the field. Now the team, what was considered to be a contender in the AFC, is left wondering what happens next. Our Dre Clark joins us this morning from MetLife Stadium. Dre, the stadium was on fire. Everybody was waiting to see Aaron actually take to the field, and then it ends like this.
Yeah, Nick, if you are a sports fan, a football fan, this is the kind of thing you hate to see happen to a player, certainly a superstar player like Aaron Rodgers. This was without question a real punch in the gut for Jets fans, if ever there was one. It was a prime-time Monday night debut for Rodgers, who was playing with his new team, the New York Jets. MetLife Stadium behind me was rocking last night at kickoff, and Jets fans were all in, believing that finally this might be their year with a future Hall of Fame quarterback leading the team. But now it seems those dreams have been dashed as they quickly went away, seemingly last night when he went down. Let's take you to the game last night. Bills and Jets playing their season opener just 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the first quarter. After a handoff and 2 incomplete passes, Aaron Rodgers goes down. It was a sack. It looked like a routine play until he stood up, sat back down on the field, and looked over at the sideline, signaling he was injured. Rodgers was helped off the field, evaluated on the sideline, and then carted off the field. That was the moment you could see the look of dread on Jets fans' faces as they feared the worst. Jets head coach Robert Saleh said after the game they're concerned it could be Rodgers' Achilles that was injured, but they won't know for sure until he gets an MRI today. But he says regardless, it does not look good. The Jets' acquisition of Rodgers was a very big deal in the NFL offseason. Rodgers spent his first 18 seasons playing with the Green Bay Packers, winning 1 Super Bowl in 2011. Rodgers reportedly signed a 2-year deal with the Jets with $75 million guaranteed. Jets fans saw Rodgers as their best chance of having a good season and eventually just maybe a trip to the Super Bowl. This morning, it seems those hopes have faded with Rodgers potentially facing a season-ending injury.
I don't hurt for me. I don't hurt for our locker room. I hurt for Aaron and how much he's invested in all of this. So I'm still going to say a prayer. I'm still going to hold out hope. But you know, my heart's with Aaron right now, and nowhere else.
And again, the Jets say they should learn more about just how bad this situation is with Aaron Rodgers after he receives that MRI. And Markie, if there is a bright spot in all of this, it is that the Jets did win their game last night in dramatic fashion, beating the Bills in overtime, 22-16. But meanwhile, for Jets fans here in New York, this is not a good day because there was so much anticipation and so much optimism with Aaron Rodgers joining the team. And now we have to wait and find out just how bad this situation is.
Yeah, I like when we can find the silver lining in the win, but we are thinking of him this morning, and I know a lot of fans are waiting with bated breath to see what that MRI result comes back and says. Dre Clark, thanks so much this morning, just outside MetLife. Well, hey, much more ahead on Morning in America. New York City's mayor warning the growing migrant crisis will destroy the city. We're already seeing how it's hitting the wallets of New York's finest. Yeah, say bye to all that hard-earned overtime, officers, because that's going away. We'll explain why next.
And some fast food workers will be getting a pay raise. We'll tell you how much and where. More news for America straight ahead.
Tomorrow on NewsNation.
Excited to be doing a town hall with NewsNation next week.
Former VP Mike Pence taking your questions live in a NewsNation town hall. The NewsNation town hall. Mike Pence. Tomorrow at 9/8 Central. Only on NewsNation. Morning in America is brought to you by Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Meet the team behind the team. The coach, the manager, and the snack dad, all using Chase to keep up with their finances. The coach helps save goals here because she saved for soccer camp there. And check this out. The manager deposited a check. Magic. And the snack dad, he's getting paid back. Orange slices. Because this team all has Chase. Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Chase, make more of what's yours.
When Caroline has a cough, she takes Robitussin, so she can have those one-on-ones again.
Hey, Jim. Hey. Can we talk about your yoga breaks?
Sure. Get fast, powerful cough relief with Robitussin and find your voice.
Robitussin. Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices. DuckDuckGo comes with a built-in search engine, but it doesn't spy on your searches. And our browser blocks creepy ads that follow you around from Google and other companies. And it's free. Download DuckDuckGo today.
Don't mind me. I'm just the flu. I'm quite harmless, really. And when people ask, but aren't you linked to dangerous flu complications like pneumonia, heart attack, and hospitalizations? I just say, but I'm just the flu.
It's him.
Who? I'm just the flu.
Fight the flu with higher dose flu vaccines from Sanofi. They're proven to provide better flu protection than standard dose flu shots in older adults. They've even been shown to better protect against flu-related complications.
Don't get Fluzone high-dose quadrivalent if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components, including egg products, or after previous dose of flu vaccine. Don't get Flublok quadrivalent if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components. Tell your healthcare professional if you've had severe muscle weakness after a flu shot. People with weakened immune systems may have a lower vaccine response.
Demand more from your flu shot. To get a Sanofi vaccine, make sure to ask for it by name. Schedule your Sanofi flu shot, available at these preferred national pharmacies.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too. Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to a sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction, and don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
Who is Mike Pence?
He deserves our thanks as Americans.
Tomorrow, only on NewsNation, the former vice president makes his case to all America. Why he should be the next nominee for president. Taking your questions live in a NewsNation town hall. Leland Vittert hosts the NewsNation Decision Desk 24 Town Hall with Mike Pence. Tomorrow at 9/8 Central on NewsNation.
Tuesday morning, everybody. We want to take you here, give you a live look at a couple different vantage points here in Pennsylvania. There on the right-hand side of the screen, that's going to be the police lectern where we're anticipating an update from Pennsylvania Police and Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens in just about 10 minutes from now. You see all the press microphones there waiting to see what they have to say. There on the left-hand side of the screen, that's where our crews are keeping an eye. The search has really kind of come down to this area in Pennsylvania, kind of 3 different county roads, I do believe at this time. People have been told stay indoors, lock your doors. Kids are home from school today, so this is ramping up by the hour.
And we see a heavy police presence from multiple agencies, and that's because they do know that he's in that area because they have seen him on most recent door cam video.
Yeah, so this is Danilo Cavalcante, now day 13, convicted killer who is greatly wanted. So again, that press conference happening in about 10 minutes. We'll take it live when they pop up. Welcome back, everybody. A lot more headlines to get to this morning.
Absolutely. A couple of other stories we think you'll be talking about this morning. The death toll in Moroccan's earthquake continues to climb. It's now just above 2,900 as rescuers are racing against the clock to find survivors of the strongest earthquake there in more than a century. On Friday, a 6.8 earthquake hit just southwest of Marrakesh. And in New Mexico, there's public outcry over a temporary gun ban. This comes after Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham issued the 30-day public health order on Friday. This is in an effort to curb gun violence. Now, the ban suspends the right to carry guns, either concealed or openly, by anyone other than law enforcement and licensed security officers. The sheriff vowing Monday not to enforce it, calling the measure as unconstitutional. And most fast food workers in California could be getting a raise next year. Under a new deal between labor unions and the industry, workers would get a $20 per hour minimum wage. That's up from $15. Now, that deal is being negotiated by the newly created Fast Food Council. That's a union representing workers across the state, and it avoids a potentially costly referendum on next year's ballot. And good news, Atlanta airport officials are saying that after 3 weeks, this passenger's adorable dog has been found. That's Maya you're looking at. That Chihuahua mix darted out of her crate while her owners were being questioned by border agents last month. A Good Samaritan found her hiding beneath a cargo rack. Maya was brought to a veterinarian for treatment, who reportedly says the dog is in incredible shape. She's expected to return home soon.
Gosh, that reunion is going to feel all sorts of good for that family. Cute dog, too. Still to come, actress and talk show host Drew Barrymore decides to return to production despite the Writers Guild strike. And now writers are picketing outside of her studio because of it. KTLA's Sam Rubin joins us live from Hollywood to weigh in. And if you don't have the NewsNation app, just open your camera on your smartphone, scan this QR code right here on the bottom of your screen, and be sure to connect with us, chat with us on X, Instagram, Facebook. We love to have you chime in on all of our conversations.
A truck is a tool, but a Ram is life. It's the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. Nice. Discover how Ram powers all the lives you live during Ram Power Days.
During Ram Power Days, get 4,000 retail consumer cash allowance on most 2023 Ram 1500 trucks. See your Ram dealer today.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen again.
Now try new dietary supplements from Voltaren for healthy joints.
With Allegra, allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy, so you can live your greatness. And for kids, try Children's Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Original, never compromise. Nobody can mess with my copyright. Make it look easy, I don't have to try that. Go and get it. Go and get it.
One roll of a lifetime, one sore throat. But she had enough. She took Mucinex InstaSoothe sore throat lozenges. Show your sore throat who's boss. Mucinex InstaSoothe works in seconds, lasts for hours.
If your vehicle isn't under warranty, it's almost like a ticking time bomb. Sooner or later, it's gonna break down, and you'll be stuck with a repair bill that could blow up your budget. Unless you have an auto protection plan from Everything Breaks. Our protection plans cover the expensive items that your auto insurance doesn't, like engine repairs, transmission, AC, computer systems, and more. Plus, our plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, free towing, free trip interruption, and free rental cars. Plans from other providers can cost between $100 to $200 per month. But with Everything Breaks, you can get the critical coverage that you need with plans starting at less than $1 a day. And if you call right now, your rates will be locked in, guaranteed. If your vehicle is out of warranty, call us now to get protected before it breaks down.
Call 1-800-374-4456, 1-800-374-4456.
Well, New York's migrant crisis is now hurting the bank accounts of city workers that people rely on most. You're talking about police, fire, sanitation, and corrections departments. They've all been directed to cut overtime to help trim their budgets by 5%. Mayor Eric Adams wanting to end overtime for officers and firefighters to pay for the 100,000 migrants who have arrived in the Big Apple over the last year. With no end in sight, Adams estimating that carry for all of these people will cost billions.
Everything is on the table now. You know, think about this for a moment.
Yeah.
We're talking $12 billion.
Yes.
$12 billion of running our city, sanitation, police, education, libraries, everything that we have to run the city. There's a minimum amount of money that comes in that we have to address this crisis. That's a national crisis, and we've been ignored.
So joining us now to talk about this further is New York City Councilwoman Vicki Palladino. Vicki, I've been eager to have you on because you are a straight shooter from Queens. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. And thank you for realizing that I am a straight shooter from Queens. You're 100% right.
Well, we appreciate the time. And just giving you a heads up, we are following the latest on this Pennsylvania manhunt. If I have to cut you off, I apologize ahead of time. But getting straight into it, I know that not long ago, Mayor Adams took to that city podium and said the dam has broken, and I don't know how to clean it up. I know you've called the crisis an invasion. For those of us not in New York, paint the picture of what this problem actually looks like on the ground.
What it looks like on the ground is basically exactly what you're seeing on TV. This is not an exaggeration in any way, shape, or form. We have got an overflow here of now, 110,000 migrants that are here. And this has gone on way too long. The numbers have grown every week now. Last week was 104. Week before that was 100. Now we're 110. What's the real number out there? Nobody really knows because nobody's really keeping track of exactly what's going on in this city. It's reached a proportion where it's impossible to keep track of. And now we're talking about cutting our budget. Are you kidding me? To our police, we're looking at 5% in November. We're looking at 5% in January, and we are looking at as much as another 5% come early spring. That's 15%. 15% to a police department that's already suffering and cannot do their jobs, as well as our fire department. Key agencies here.
And so, Vicki, when you say that and the 5% cuts that keep on coming and rolling through, how will that impact quality of life for everyday New Yorkers who live there?
Quality of life, there will be none. I mean, the mayor said it last week when he said that we have reached a critical point, and he knows right now knows very clearly right now, because I had a private conversation with him, and I want to thank him very much for his time. But he knows that this is unsustainable and that we are reaching the point of no return. This is absolutely a death blow to this city and will continue to be a death blow to this city until it's stopped. I don't get what it is that we can't stop.
And I have one more question for you with just about a minute left here. I know you know this. New York Democrats have obviously been critical of the tactics border state leaders like Governor Greg Abbott have taken to handle the crisis with the busing. New York has long been a sanctuary city, saying come one, come all. I'm curious if you think after all that you have witnessed, the attitudes towards states like Texas and Arizona have changed now that you're getting a taste of it yourself, and if New York still welcomes people with open arms.
Well, once again, we reach a pinnacle here where we discuss Democrats versus Republicans. You know, the Republicans are saying what they're saying now, close the border. We have to stop condemning Abbott and any of the other border states. This is
hey,
our
Vicki, I'm
issue
so
here
sorry
right
to
now.
interrupt you. We have to take this breaking press conference live. Let's dip in.
Information was received from another resident in that immediate area that a pair of work boots had been stolen from a porch at her residence. The tracking of Cavalcante continued in a northerly direction, and at 10:10 p.m., a call was received from a resident on Coventryville Road indicating a short Hispanic male, no shirt and wearing dark pants, had entered his garage while the homeowner was in it, and that he grabbed a .22 rifle that was leaning in the corner of the garage. The homeowner drew a pistol and fired at Cavalcante as he fled with the rifle. PSP responded and secured that scene. At that time, a green sweatshirt and white T-shirt believed to belong to Cavalcante were discovered near the edge of the driveway. The perimeter was expanded to include that area. Overnight, searches of the area within the perimeter were conducted by tactical teams from multiple agencies. Teams from Pennsylvania State Police, Border Patrol, ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and Chester County have been active through the night. Teams are currently being rotated out and replaced with fresh teams. Aviation assets, canines, mounted patrols, and numerous other assets have been mobilized and are currently operating in this search area. Upwards of 500 law enforcement officers are engaged in securing the perimeter and in conducting the searches. We are mobilizing additional resources as we speak and are planning for an extended operating period if necessary. Cavalcante is considered armed and extremely dangerous. He is now armed with a .22 caliber rifle with a scope and flashlight mounted on it. Throughout the night, we sent several reverse 911 messages to residents within a 3-mile radius of this incident, as well as posted information to social media in an effort to inform the public and to keep them safe. We also notified the affected schools of this incident in the very early morning hours, and a decision was made to close schools in the O&J Roberts School District for today. The current perimeter includes PA 23 to the north, PA 100 to the east, Fairview and Nant Mill roads to the south, and Iron Bridge and County Park roads to the west. We ask residents in and around this vicinity to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. It is imperative that anyone with information about Cavalcante contact us immediately so we can act on it in a timely manner. They can call 911 or our tip line at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. We will take questions at this time.
What was the response time, sir, from the moment the homeowner called the state police after the shots were fired? What was the response time?
Minutes.
Do we believe he's injured?
We have no reason to believe that he is injured as a result of that shooting.
Do you think he's still trying to get south eventually?
No, I think he is just trying to survive and avoid being captured right now, sir.
Ammunition?
Yes.
How does this change your tactics when it comes to the fact that he's now considered armed?
We have considered him dangerous right from the very start. It changes nothing. We have always considered him to be a risk. We just now absolutely know that he has a weapon.
Do you think he knows where he is?
Yes.
He knows where he's been there
I think,
before?
yes, he has been in that area before. We're not evacuating homes at this point. We're asking residents to be vigilant and, again, lock their doors, call us if there is any issue or any concern on their part.
Shots were fired between the homeowner towards Capital Conte.
It was several shots. I don't have that number at this point.
Was a law enforcement officer injured? There were reports about late last night.
Not as a result of anything with the search. We've had a few minor incidents or issues with officers out on the perimeter and things, but nothing related directly to the search.
Is he getting help from anyone? Has he gotten help from anyone at any point in recent days?
I'm not going to comment on whatever assistance he may or may not have received. What I will tell you is that at this point, I believe he is beyond assistance, and he is in that perimeter, and we will actively hunt until we find him.
Is he cooperating with the investigation? Is he fully cooperating?
Yes.
Now that you have the firearm and you have a general location of the containment, is it imperative to push now, especially given the urgency of the firearm?
Sure, we have been pushing anytime we had him contained from the very start. We have seen this as a high priority throughout. It is, in this particular case, the search area is probably close to 3 miles across east to west and 2 to 2.5 miles north to south. It's a large area, wooded, hilly terrain. It's not something that it's a matter of just sending a few people in and searching. As I said, we've had a number of tactical teams operating in there through the night. We continue to have teams operating in there now. It will take a long time to clear that entire area, and we will continue until we do locate him.
You talked about how difficult the area around Longview Farms was to search in. Is this a similarly difficult, more or less difficult?
Some similar challenges. The difference here, it's a little larger area. And so anytime you're in an area like this, you can imagine if you went out and took a several square mile area and had to try and find a single person who is trying to hide, it's a challenge.
Do you consider him contained now in that area?
As I've said before, no perimeter is ever 100% impenetrable. We have absolutely stood up a very strong perimeter. We will do our very best to contain him in there and to capture him.
We saw some boats being driven in. Are there any creeks or waterways in that area that you guys are searching?
There are some creeks in there, yes.
What precautions are law enforcement taking right now that he is armed and dangerous? Are the officers instructed to wear tactical gear?
The officers have been wearing their gear throughout this entire search. Again, we have always considered him dangerous. We just know, we now have confirmation that he has a firearm. The tactics are the same.
How did you check the ammunition? The ammunition?
It was with the firearm. It was with the firearm.
Sir, he's so
It was with the firearm.
Sir, he's so close to French Creek Park right now. I know that tunnels were a factor potentially in the Longwood area. Are you also searching focusing on the tunnels from where he was last spotted last night? If he was in the tunnels, he could potentially get away.
We are focusing on that entire area. Again, we have supervisors on the ground out there assessing any issues or risks of escape, and we are trying to address any possibility out there.
It sounds like these residents contacted officials pretty quickly. The fact that the tactical team was able to see the fresh prints, identify them as prison shoes. What happened? Why weren't they able to find him?
They have been searching for him. It was only minutes, but in that amount of time, he traveled a significant distance. We've been utilizing dogs, and we've been utilizing tactical teams. So, again, just because we find a footprint doesn't mean we necessarily know which direction he traveled. And in fact, he had traveled south and then went back north. So it's not a matter of just charging into the woods and knowing that, it's that away. It's a matter of trying to track him. It's a matter of sweeping methodically through the woods, checking buildings and so forth. We don't have the luxury of just charging up the nearest trail and hoping that's the direction he went.
I believe he scoped out that house where he stole the firearm. He went to the garage, the firearm was laying there. Have you been watching that house?
I don't believe so, sir. I think at that point he was being pushed by the teams that were pursuing him from the original sighting. I think it was, in my opinion, I believe it was a crime of opportunity. I think he went in there probably trying to hide. The garage door was open. He didn't, I believe, recognize that the owner was in there, and I think he was probably looking for a place to hide. Ran for that garage, saw the firearm, grabbed that, encountered the homeowner, and fled with the firearm.
What's the square mile area now that you are searching? Do you have an estimate?
I don't know, what is that, 8 to 10 square miles probably?
You've had 2 instances now of Cavalcante picking up supplies that really changed the search, whether it was the van with the keys in it or a firearm that was somewhat unsecured. Do you have any plans to change the messaging in this new containment area to really, emphasize the importance of locking?
I don't know how much more I could emphasize it, sir. I've been very clear about securing things. We have sent, as I said, several reverse 911 messages through the night, again emphasizing that point and telling residents what they can do, just advising them the situation. I can't be any clearer that they need to secure things.
Use maps of culverts, drainage areas, tunnels, different.
We're working with a variety of maps. We have county emergency management people on site and have had them on site here in the command post so that we do have access to.
All right, we're going to continue to monitor the latest out of Pennsylvania this morning. We'll keep you apprised as to any other breaking news updates that come from the conference. Got to get to this interview, though. House representatives return to work today with less than 3 weeks left to prevent a government shutdown. House Republicans are at odds, with some even threatening to shut the government down if certain demands aren't met. Joining us now is Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me on today.
So you laid out the conditions that need to be met to secure your vote, at least. Late last month, you called for an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, defunding the president's, quote, weaponization of government, eliminate all COVID vaccines as well as those mandates, and stopping providing financial aid to Ukraine. Congresswoman, that's a tall order. What are the odds those conditions are met?
Well, it's not a tall order if Washington wants to listen to the American people. I'm on the Oversight Committee, and we have produced overwhelming evidence that there is a need for an impeachment inquiry. And over 61% of Americans do believe that Joe Biden has engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors and is involved in Hunter Biden's business deals with foreign countries, foreign nationals, and foreign businesses. This is corruption at the highest level. This requires an impeachment inquiry, and I'm demanding it, and I'm willing to use my voting card to get it. And
are you able to share
what the country needs?
Are you able to share what that evidence is that you say that you have against President Biden?
Absolutely. If you followed the Oversight Committee, you would know the evidence. We have produced bank statements that we found, that we subpoenaed through the SARS reports in the Treasury Department. These reports have been there for years. These bank statements show proof of wire transfers of money into fake LLCs. The Bidens don't sell a product. They do not sell a service, yet they had all these fake LLCs where wire transfers of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars went into these fake LLCs and paid out many Biden family members, even 2 grandchildren. This is proof that they have been abusing Joe Biden's office, but even more so, Joe Biden himself admitted on camera in an interview that he withheld aid money to Ukraine in order to get Viktor Shokin fired, the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma, where his son Hunter served on the board and was taking a very hefty paycheck every single month. This is proof that we need an impeachment inquiry.
And, Punchbowl News, I'm sure you saw this morning, reported breaking news today that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy would actually be endorsing an impeachment inquiry into President Biden at a closed-door hearing or meeting later on this week on Thursday. Have you spoken to the speaker? Are you able to confirm that and your response to that news? Because I know for a while he was warning people, a government shutdown could keep us from being able to investigate anything about President Biden.
Well, we're not linking a government shutdown to an impeachment inquiry. Those are 2 separate issues. And of course, I've spoken to the speaker. I speak to him all the time, and I just saw him yesterday. This is great news for the American people, and this shows very strong leadership. This shows that Kevin McCarthy is not who many accuse him to be. It shows that he's willing to lead the House of Representatives for transparency, for truth, and also for an inquiry. Believe me, that's a big difference between an inquiry and actual impeachment. He's taking the right steps, and he's using his speakership to do it.
But you are willing to risk a government shutdown, correct? If your demands aren't met, if this inquiry isn't opened, why is that worth it to you? And what does a government shutdown achieve if that happens?
Well, let's talk about a government shutdown. If the government shuts down, that's no threat. I'll tell you why. Senior citizens still receive their Social Security checks. Medicare checks go out. All the essential parts of the government stay open, and the American people are not threatened by a government shutdown. What threatens the American people is having a president that is willing to abuse his power to enrich himself and his family. And that is what Joe Biden has done, not only as vice president, but we should be concerned about president as well, because we are involved in a war in Ukraine against a nuclear-armed nation, Russia. And this is all because of Joe Biden's corruption and Hunter Biden's business deals. And that is something that should scare every single American. While he has us engaged in defending Ukraine's borders, he's completely ignoring our wide open borders. Look at New York City. It's not even the city it used to be. They have migrants, thousands of them, sleeping on the streets. The Biden administration has lost over 85,000 migrant children and doesn't even care to look for them and will not secure the border to stop the flow of human trafficking and drug trafficking that's killing over 300 Americans every single day.
We just talked to Councilwoman Vicky Palladino, who I'm sure you've listened to and maybe have talked to before about just the daily numbers. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate it, and we'll keep our eye closely on that Thursday meeting and whatever it may hold. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Right now, let's head back to that Pennsylvania press conference. Let's dip back in.
No, I think, again, I stress, please secure things, and not just within the perimeter, in the vicinity around it. And please call us immediately if they see something suspicious, if they believe that Cavalcante might be in the area. We need that information. Again, it's a large search area. We're going to very thoroughly search it, but their assistance is very much appreciated.
Maybe it's worth repeating it. Can you explain why you can't just push through with the terrain, what you're dealing with, how it's challenging?
We are pushing through with the terrain with tactical teams, but it is not really practical to suggest that we could line up a line 3 miles long and push in one long line through there. We've got to methodically search it. We've got trained teams that are doing that, and we're going to cover that ground as quickly and as thoroughly as we possibly can. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll get additional information to you as things unfold. Thank you.
All right, that press conference is wrapping up. We want to link in Evan Lambert right now. He's been our correspondent there on the ground. Evan, what did you make from this press conference, and what were your biggest takeaways here?
Yeah, hey, Markie. I mean, obviously the biggest thing is the confirmation from officials now that he is in fact armed, that came out of a robbery in the area, a man's home with an open garage that police say Cavalcante was able to get inside, take a weapon that was left unsecured, that also had ammunition with it. So that kind of changes. You know, they've said, look, we consider him to be armed and dangerous all along, or the potential to be armed, and now that's come to fruition. But knowing that that's the case, it seems really changes the intensity of their push to get him. The other thing is that right now they say they have a good perimeter. We've seen the perimeters be broken before over the last few days by Cavalcante, but they do believe that they are pushing him in the right direction, and that it will just be a matter of time before they're able to find him in that wooded area. And this is, again, pretty close to where he ended up after police say he stole that vehicle. So this is about 25 miles from that original area that they were searching for Cavalcante in. And so that is where the investigation is focused now. The lieutenant colonel said that all their resources are being surged to that area, and that's the activity that we saw overnight as tactical teams, drones, dogs, really all the resources that they have had this entire time are focused on that one region right near where this robbery was reported, where these sightings were reported last night.
Gosh, Evan Lambert, thanks so much for breaking that down for us. They don't believe he's injured at this time. And again, they've asked residents in the area to secure their homes, their cars, call police if they see anything. No evacuations happening at this point. So the case continues, day 13 of trying to find this convicted killer.
Yeah, Danilo Cavalcante, and they're also making it clear that he has a rifle with a flashlight and a scope attached. So
yeah,
definitely be careful there.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more news for All America.
My most important kitchen tool, my brain.